It is the first day that Missouri candidates for public office can officially file the paperwork to be entered in the race. Candidates and incumbents from across the Show Me State showed up in Jefferson City, to officially put their hats in the ring. Missouri Capitol Bureau Chief Joe McLean was there as the races take shape.
Even though we've certainly been covering these campaigns for quite a while now, today is technically the official start of the 2024 election season in Missouri. Whether you're chasing your 11th term,
I wanted to see if I could contribute again, not just legislatively,
or trying for your first term in Congress.
People want to be heard and they want to be understood. And even with differences, you can get along.
Everyone running for public office in Missouri must show up in person to officially file starting today. Though it doesn't affect the order in which candidate names appear on the ballot, many candidates like to file on the first day, usually as a statement of intention.
I think this state has been comprehensively failed by its political class.
Missourians are the greatest people on earth, and I'm tired of politicians trying to control everything that we do and failing to invest in us.
Local cattleman and business owner Keith Elliott has never done this before, running as a Republican for a Southeast Missouri House seat.
Just wanting to get some fair treatment for the rural communities, maybe try to bring in some job opportunities, protect our freedoms from the federal government.
Also a first-time candidate, December Harmon, who's running as a Democrat for U.S. Senate.
I actually reject that Missouri's a red state. I honestly think that we just haven't had the choice. And I think when voters are given a choice, they're going to make it.
In the governor's race, Republicans like Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe, State Senator Bill Eigel, and Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft all turned in their paperwork on day one. On the other side, House Minority Leader Crystal Quaid filed her papers Monday, but the state Democratic Party told another candidate, no thanks. A memo to State Representative Sarah Unsicker rejected her run for governor as a Democrat, citing her ouster from the party late last year while she was running for Attorney General. Unsicker did not respond to my request for a comment. Candidates have until March 26th to put their name forward to run for office. In Jefferson City, Joe McLean, WGEM News.